Well, okay. Many of you, friends, family, have asked me to show how I do this. This is a home theater PC that I built into a old Nintendo case. This will be the third or fourth one I've built. I guess first thing I'll do is I'll just kind of go through the parts that I use. I already kind of started on it, but the motherboard I like to use is called it's made by Intel. It's a thin mini ITX. Model number's DH61AG. I'll try to make some kind of parts list on YouTube of all the parts I use, but that's the motherboard I like to use. The reason I like to use it is because it's really thin. It's much thinner compared to most motherboards. And another reason I like to use it is it uses just a standard laptop power supply that just plugs into the back here. Another nice feature that I really love about this motherboard is it comes with a socket called M-SATA, and believe it or not, that's the hard drive, SSD hard drive that runs it. So that's one of the reasons I like this model motherboard. It is getting towards the end of its they're getting a little harder to find because they're no longer making them, but Asus I see is now making one equivalent to it. So, but that's what you want to find is what they call a thin mini ITX motherboard, and I'll explain later why I like to use it. So yeah, the CPU that I like to use is Core i3. It's only a 35 watt. Reason I use that is because there's not a whole lot of room in a NES case for getting rid of heat. So you want to use something that's not going to make a lot of heat. And this is more than sufficient for watching HD video, some gaming, older games, you know, going on the internet, everything else. You know, your typical whatever you want to do on a computer. And it runs fairly cool. It ain't too bad. But that's the CPU. RAM, I went a little overboard on the RAM. I went and got 16 gigs, but one 8 gig stick would be more than sufficient, but I bought 16 because I could. So yeah, 16 gigs of laptop RAM, and that maxes this board out. That's all the further you can go with 16. And then for the hard drive, I went with the Samsung Evo M-SATA version. I love these Samsung hard drives. They're fast. This is basically the same as the the laptop, only it's an M-SATA instead of regular SATA. And this is 250 gigs, which is more than sufficient. I'm mainly using it just for the operating system and fast boot time. You could probably get away with a 128, but I figured why not go a little bigger, because all my movies and stuff are on a external network drive anyway. So that's the storage. Power supply I already explained. And then for watching DVDs and Blu-ray, music, whatever, CDs, this is just a Blu-ray laptop player, slim. You know, you want to keep everything small and as little as possible, and that'll take care of the DVD, CD, Blu-ray part. In order to use that, though, you got to make sure you buy an adapter. That'll plug into the back, and that'll plug into the motherboard and then power. So you got to make sure you have that adapter if you're gonna get one of those. Let's see, what else do I got here? You can use the Intel stock heat cooler, but it's only aluminum and it's kind of a chintzy plastic. I don't care for, so I bought a low profile copper core Silverstone heatsink. I think it helps a little bit better dispersing the heat. It's just a little more rugged, a little more well built. I love these little low profile heat sinks. I've been trying to find a better solution for getting the heat out of these, because there's not a whole lot to get, all you got is these vents up here. So there's not a whole lot of room for, oh cool, there's a Nintendo game in there yet, to get rid of the heat. Let's see, I took care of that adapter. Another thing you want to buy, you want at least 2 of them, are USB extension cords. Yeah, you plug this into the motherboard USB. You need 2 of them. One of them will be for the retro USB adapter chips, and what was the other one for? Oh, the other one is for this USB. This I use to fill the holes in on the side here. Eventually this will go, let's see, but that's what I use that for. Maybe I should have took it out of the package. That might have helped, but yeah, that'll go on the side there to fill in that part. And that's nice and handy where you can plug in stuff on the side. So that'll go in there. And of course the most important part of this are these retro USB chips. Now what these do, I'm not going to use the cords on these. I'll desolder them, and what I do is I take the wires directly from these ports here, solder them to these chips, and these chips convert the controllers over to like a standard USB controller for the operating system to recognize it. And then I use one of these cords. I solder one of these cords onto the chip, then I can plug it straight onto the motherboard. Just keeps it nice and neat and pretty that way. I'll try to go through it step by step as I build it here, just to give you an idea of how it all comes together. It's a really nice system when I get done. I try to keep the stock look as much as possible, especially on the front and the sides and the back. The only difference you'll notice is, like I say, here where the AV ports are, there'll be USB, and then on the back will be slightly modified. This is where the I/O shield will go for the motherboard and stuff. And that's another reason I use the thin mini ITX. The first one I built, I had to cut this whole bottom out in order to get it to fit. Now that I'm using these thin mini ITX motherboards, I no longer have to cut the bottom out, which is nice. It keeps the bottom looking nice. And of course in the front here, where the cartridge goes, is where this will go. So when you flip it up, you can put a disc in it. So I'll start disassembling, cleaning things up. That's the first thing I like to do, is take the Nintendo apart. I try to use ones that are no longer working or parts are missing, and try to find one that's not yellowed too much. They're not too hard to clean up. I usually take them completely apart. Use a little dish soap and water, wash them up to get rid of markers, and Magic Eraser really works good. Note, when you're washing this, be very careful of this logo. It's just painted on it. It doesn't take much to scrub it off. So when you're washing this part of it, be somewhat gentle, because you can rub this lettering right off. But other than that, yeah, I'll start ripping it apart.